Hello, everyone, and welcome to Podfluxxx episode 29. Ricky, how's it going? You got a team down there in Texas that's in the World Series, which I'm sure you A, knew about, and B, are thrilled to be a part of, right?
I guess, yeah, sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh,
Who?
yeah. Who?
Who?
The Texas Rangers
Where are they?
in Texas.
No, because I know they played the Astros, right? They're in
Yeah,
Houston.
they
Where is the Texan Rangers at? Texas
uh
Rangers. Is it like a Dallas team or?
I don't. You know what? I never even thought to think that because they were always just the Texas Rangers.
Yeah,
So
but we have Houston. Is that all the baseball teams we have? Is two?
no, is it? You got the Rangers, the Astros. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, just because football we have what? We have Houston. We have Dallas.
hmm
That's it as well.
You have the Houston Texas, Texans, the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I think that's it
Okay.
for football. Also,
No, because XFL, we were like basically more than half the league.
right?
Texas was.
Yeah,
We were
they're in
laughing about that.
Arlington.
Oh, okay. So near Dallas. Okay.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
the New York Jets today accidentally beat the New York Giants.
Oops.
So I was miserable for about 4 hours to the point where there was 1 minute left in the game, and I was like, fuck this shit. And I stormed out of my buddy's backyard. And then I got home and they're going to overtime.
Nah.
And I was like, how did that even happen?
All
Uh,
right.
and then, the
Yeah.
Jets won. Anyway, that's small talk. Small talk accomplished.
Mm.
Um, we've got some WWE stuff, we got some AEW stuff, and I think we're probably going to have hopefully a way shorter episode than last week's.
Yeah. Quick question about the question that we had a while back. Does your friend still think that we are pro A WWE and anti AEW, or did he understand the explanations that we were giving on why
I
AEW sucks ass?
I think our listenership as a whole has resigned to the feeling that we just don't like anything,
Well, that's good.
which is
Very
pretty accurate.
observant.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
observant.
yeah. So
Okay.
I don't think it's no longer a matter of us preferring one to the other.
Okay, good.
It's just, it's pretty commonly accepted now that we just don't like any of it.
All right. Just making sure.
Right.
I
So
didn't
that
know if I honestly didn't know if they understood why there's more bad on one side than the other.
yeah,
Like there's really bad and then there's this is not so bad, or this is bad just sometimes and this is bad all the time, if they
right.
understood. Okay.
It's I think it's pretty well understood that like one now like is a
Mm.
matter of purposely being bad and the
Yes.
other one is bad because uh Adderall.
Right.
Right.
Yes. That happens.
That happens widely. It's widely accepted. So what I want to do, I want to talk a little bit first about LA Knight and Roman Reigns.
Yes.
All right, because they're going to do it at Crown Jewel next Saturday on
Yeah.
November 4th.
A
November
throwaway
4th,
pay-per-view.
very, very, very important day, right, for both of us, right?
Yeah.
It is my birthday.
Yep.
One of my buddies years ago, right, was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna have a kid," and I was like, "Oh man, good for you," right? And then he has that kid on my birthday. Right? So now it's like since I'm old, I don't matter. Like it's not my birthday anymore.
Right.
This friggin' kid's birthday.
Exactly.
So
It's like it's like when the family comes over to see you guys, they're not
mhm,
coming to see you guys.
you're right.
You're just there providing for the things that they want to see.
Exactly. So needless
They're
to
all,
say, happy early birthday to Reyes.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
We don't matter anymore.
right,
Yeah.
right. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Anyway, the LA Knight versus
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. It's going to happen at Crown Jewel. We're gonna run down that card in a little bit. Um, there's been limited interaction with the two on TV. I
Yep.
saw a clip that's going to be of next week's SmackDown. So somebody leaked, fan cam
Oh,
from next week's recording.
right.
They
Yeah.
were doing like a sit down kind of, or they had some type of face to face going. And then it hit me like LA Knight isn't going to beat Roman Reigns,
No. No.
right? Certainly not in Saudi Arabia, right?
Right. Oh.
What does it do to the momentum and the push of LA Knight at this juncture to lose to Roman Reigns now? Because
That is,
once he
yeah.
does lose to Roman Reigns, he's now just like everybody else.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like they're giving that finish away so early because they're doing it at Crown Jewel. They don't get any extra bonus points for people tuning in to watch Crown Jewel. It's not a pay-per-view where the numbers are where they're financially going to be compensated for that. Where you're like, oh shit, it's LA Knight, here it goes. I gotta buy it to see it. So I don't know what the purpose or point is. Like, honestly, they could have saved this for Rumble. This could have been the Roman LA Knight match at Royal Rumble, where everyone is going to tune in to see who wins the Rumble. I felt like that could have been a better suspending our disbelief in some way, or belief that LA Knight could win. You know, this is just not good booking or timing for this. I mean, I'm almost 99% sure that Roman's not going to lose. You know, but yeah, it definitely, the only way LA Knight rebounds from this is if they have something planned for him in the next few weeks, leading into something super major for him at Survivor Series.
Good night.
Does he rebound from this loss? So I'm hoping that something big for him happens. My question is, how much longer do we have Cena?
Well,
Because
Cena,
I feel like Cena could be the one to pull him up out of that, maybe somehow, like
right?
some sort of interaction with John, or another, let's hold hands and hooray for each other. I don't know, like some sort of moment with him. I'm not sure exactly what, but yes, this is a dead giveaway that Roman leaves Saudi Arabia the same way he came in. And what does that do for LA Knight? Except, is there interaction? Are we going to pull a Dusty finish here and have half the locker room empty out sporadically throughout the match? Does Jimmy and Jay get involved? Does Cody get involved in this match?
Like a mega fuck finish where that way it almost doesn't hurt him,
That's
and
got to be the plan for him to keep him up, right? I mean, otherwise, he can't just spear him and then we're done. 1, 2, 3.
What I'm reading right now is saying that Crown Jewel, I guess, should be the last John, because his TV appearances were set to be September 1st through October 27th.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that will make last week's SmackDown. Yes, last week's SmackDown, his last TV appearance. He is working Crown Jewel.
So he's doing another week, but he's not on the house shows or anything else after this.
Right.
So does John do the big hooray with them at the end? Like, even though he didn't win the belt, are we gonna Lex Luger SummerSlam this shit? Confetti
You might as
falling for no
well.
reason?
You might as well, because if you can clutter it all
Might as
up,
well. Yeah.
if you can clutter it up, you can make it so we can forget about
Yeah.
either the non-finish or the screwy finish
The screwy
that
finish.
just happened.
I feel like it has to be a screwy finish with, is it Solo that, thumbs him, or who's Jimmy? Jimmy comes in. I don't know. I mean, I guess, right? I mean,
Listen, if they could turn this into like this would be a great place to have a big wild brawl to set
yeah,
up a hopeful war games for
Survivor
SummerSlam.
Series actual match at Survivor
Yeah,
Series. Right.
because then the finish doesn't really matter. You got 10 guys out there,
Right. Do
showing everybody the place will go nuts. It
you
won't
do
matter that
something?
LA Knight just lost.
Yeah. Do you do something where, like, AJ comes out and helps them fight off the bad guy? Cody comes out. Each star that comes out is a little bit bigger and bigger, and then leads to Survivor Series. Does somehow LA Knight roll up Roman at Survivor Series?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it has to be something along those lines where you get LA Knight hot again, where we can believe that he can beat him at maybe Rumble. You
Well,
know?
it's a lean card here for
Yeah. What do they
Crohn's.
got?
All right. We've got Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship. We got Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler
Oh no,
versus Zoe Stark
it got worse.
versus Raquel Rodriguez
Shut up. What?
in a
Good
fatal.
Lord. They went from never allowing women to, like, look forward to having
Yeah,
a 5-way.
right.
There's going to be a lot of knuckles showing and
Yeah,
possible elbows coming out, and
yeah. It's
ugh,
oof,
COVID
ooh,
mask faces.
oh god. Nia Jax out there just
Oh,
hurting everyone.
just a refrigerator with arms. God.
Oh god. Then you got Roman Reigns versus LA Knight,
Mm.
Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest,
Oh, that'll be good.
Io Sky versus Bianca Belair, and then you've got John Cena versus Solo Sikoa.
There we go. There we go.
So, I mean, if you're trying to build something out of a screwy finish here, you don't really have but Cena and Solo. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Uh, okay. I could see, yeah. There's got to be some sort of rubbing up against Cena on this for LA Knight with that type
yeah,
of that particular lineup. There's
yeah,
no way that something doesn't happen.
it's a lean card.
Yeah, they've
It,
been doing that lately, right?
yeah, short 6-7 matches or whatever.
Hmm.
This is 7. You got to think the women are going to get in and get out in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah, both matches. I would imagine that one-on-one will be relatively short, maybe 7-8 minutes.
Remember, remember last time what they did to Natty?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Remember
right. That
Rhea Ripley beat her in like a minute.
yeah.
They flew her
Oh,
to Saudi Arabia to beat her
I
in
was
13 seconds.
man, like, that's when you travel that whole way and then you go to the board and you're like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
like
including entrance. Yeah,
yeah, the only positive is you're the highest paid wrestler that night for the
hmm
amount of time you're working. Because if we're charging by minute here, you're getting paid thousands of dollars
Yeah.
per minute. So.
I wonder like what the abbreviation on the board is for like 3 minutes already in the ring. Like
Oh man.
oh Christ.
I'll
So
keep my plate from catering at Gorilla because I'm
yeah.
just going right back to it.
Just
So
bring it down the ramp with you. Put it down in the corner when you get there, right on the steps. You
or
gotta
yeah, right on the steps.
turn around and look at Naya and be like,
Bitch, back off.
yep. All right. So that was about it on my WWE.
Yeah, something's definitely going to happen. It has to. There's no way. They're using Crown Jewel as their lead into Survivor Series, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would hope.
So let's hope for LA Knight's sake that somehow it's not all depending too. Like, do you think Seth main events then? Do you think like Roman and LA Knight are underneath because they go into like some sort of like screwy finish, and then Seth and Drew just tear the house down just because they get to play for longer
No,
time? No?
no, because I think internally there,
Yeah.
nobody even cares about Seth and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean like no one cares about Crown Jewel either.
Right.
So who's to say that they won't let them just say, hey, let them go home with an actual finish? I don't know. I mean, not that they care about that audience or
I'm
anything.
calling it right now.
Yeah,
Bianca Belair, Io Sky, main event, Crown Jewel.
dude, there's no way. There's no way.
If not them, then one of the other world title matches.
Yeah, that I don't see that happening ever there.
I don't know. I mean, they got
The prince or whoever is hosting this event's going to go back to the whiteboard and erase it,
yeah.
or a big arrow over like, no, this is where Roman's supposed to be.
He just writes down number one. They're like, no, we already have a number one.
He's like,
Yeah.
that don't work here, brother.
Yeah. Oh my god, I almost did a racially insensitive voice right there.
I'm sure.
With a brother on the end of it. It would have been good, but not in 2023. All right, so we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Last week, as we were recording the show, I was watching the previous night's Collision.
Yeah.
As you may recall. And then we talked about how Big Bill and Ricky Starks main evented
That's
against members of the Brazilian, the Blackpool Combat Club, and how Andrade and Daniel Bryanson kicked the show off. And we questioned what the ratings could have been there in that last quarter. So I've got last week's Collision's ratings. And the Collision audience was, for that night, it was a total of 518,000 viewers, which is up, I believe.
Wow.
Okay. The Bryan Danielson Andrade first quarter match had 579,000 viewers, which also was the average. So you can see that the numbers, they did some stuff from there. And then they ended the second quarter, was in the second quarter, they had the end of that match. And then they had Sky Blue versus Hollywood Haley J. And that maintained, it kept 569, that so that they lost 10,000 viewers there.
That's not bad.
But that's like normal TV fluctuation. But going all the way down to the main event of Big Bill and Ricky Starks versus Claudio and Wheeler Yuta in quarter 7, it was 483,000 viewers. Okay, so they about from start to there, about 100,000 people jumped off the ship. And then it ended up at the end, the last quarter, okay, it ended at 512,000 viewers. So about 20, about 30 to 40,000 people came back for it, which is still pretty good considering the overall on the show was just 518. So it didn't do what we thought it was going to do, which was fall off a fucking cliff. So are the Colliders a more passionate fan base than you see on Dynamite, or are these 500,000 Dynamite viewers that's going to watch whatever's AEW puts on the TV no matter what it is?
Yeah, I feel like it's those diehard, crowdfunding, all about it. I support AEW first. I don't know, like those hardcore fans, I guess.
Right.
But they were down. Well, were they down because of college football, you think, when they a while back, right?
Yeah. Even
so what were they up against this Saturday is my question.
There was the report I was reading, there was a Collision was number 12 for the night and the highest rated non-sports show for the day. It was behind 9 college football games, 2 baseball playoff games in the same time slot.
Oh, wow.
And it was number 4 behind the Phillies and the Diamondbacks.
So these are just the hardcore wrestling fans, then, right?
These college football games,
and
these baseball games are drawing in the millions.
Yeah, these are, I mean, that's good. I mean, that they're there, and they're consistent. So they're actually wrestling fans. You can tell because it doesn't dip 100 off, 75 ups, 120 down, where they're kind of surfing, checking into other things. Like they're with the show,
waiting to see one specific person.
Right. Yeah. They're not outside fans checking in to wait to see the star and then leave. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's how we can kind of gauge wrestling, I guess, now, right?
Yep.
By this particular number. But yeah, I mean, that's good. Is Collision, that from what you've seen, has it drastically changed as far as the flow of the show? Like, is it schizophrenic like Dynamite, where we're doing comedy and then the next segment someone's trying to stab somebody?
Yeah, I mean, like, once they get in the ring, it's less Dynamite nonsense.
Right.
But they're doing a lot of shit on Collision now that they would do mostly on Dynamite. Bad promos, stagey, phony shit, bad Tony Schiavone interviews, the best friends. It's like the identity of Collision, is kind of gone. But once the bell rings, it's still there. It's hard to describe. But
like once the bell rings, they're doing wrestling matches.
Yeah.
But I guess around it is still this a little silliness.
Right.
I was always curious about that. I mean, it would be nice to have, like it was supposed to be, or I guess the intention was at first, right, was to like do less less sizzle. Let's have more just, hey, I don't like you, you don't like me, now we're wrestling type thing. Right. Just because you could have cornered both audiences, the fans, right? Because you got your serious fans and then you got the fans that point and laugh at a guy with.
And every storyline there wasn't based around who's friends with who. And have you noticed that every AEW storyline is friend
Yes.
related?
Yeah.
I don't
Like,
know if this is like some Freudian slip that Tony Khan has in all of his creative, that maybe he didn't have many friends as a kid,
I was just thinking.
but it's all just like, we used to be friends, but no, we're not friends. And, like, but you were my friend. Like, even the Edge and Christian stuff, a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to get into some of that, but
Yeah.
it's just everybody's just mad because somebody doesn't want to be their friend anymore.
Or like there's only a certain amount of friends you're about to have, you can have.
Yes.
So it's like we all can't be friends. Only 3 of us can be friends.
Mm-hmm.
Which 3?
Yeah. I'm
We're at
dying
our
for
friend.
somebody to
We're at
be
our
like,
friend limit.
yeah. Uh, I just want somebody to be like, it wasn't my dream. I just wanted to make money. I'm dying for like a real life Lex Luger
Yes.
to walk through the door and be
Yeah.
like, I hate this fucking shit, but it pays good, so I'm
Yeah.
here. And
Yeah.
I don't like
Exactly.
anyone or want to have any friends. Like,
Yeah.
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 So, but I guess since we kind of brought it up a little bit, last week on Dynamite, they brought out a gift to the Stinger, right? And I know if I'm a 60-something-year-old man and somebody's like, hey, I'm going to buy you a gift, right? And then that gift is Ric Flair. I'm wondering if you kept the receipt.
Because it costs.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think Nate charged for that night? Seriously.
I don't think he charges a dollar amount anymore. I think he charges like you're going to be forced. This appearance is going to cost you 4 spousal support payments. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you're it's
You're
there's like,
paying off this for me. You're
yeah,
paying off
yeah.
that for me.
I owe 30 grand on my truck,
Yeah. Exactly.
so it's not, because I think he has too many tax issues for actual money to change hands. So it's like, oh, you're gonna fly me down there. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put on this paisley suit that Taz wore in 2008.
Yeah. That was
I'm gonna
bad.
put on 11 necklaces, and then you're gonna pay like 6 of my bills,
Right. Yeah.
and then fly me home.
Yeah.
So they marched him out there. There was a lot of verbiage going back and forth. Ric
He he
Flair,
he looked less drunk tonight than normal, or
mhm,
that night.
that
Yeah.
night, yeah, and
Yeah.
but he loves to just be like, I was the cardio machine. He can never just put somebody else over.
Oh no, no. He's like the
It's
Rock in that way. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, I was the cardio machine, and
Yeah.
Sting never took a deep breath.
Right.
He couldn't just be like, "Hey, Sting was great."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't stand him anymore.
It's like when they talk about Austin beating The Rock, The Rock's got a tweet. It was an honor to do that for you, for Stone Cold that night.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's all about what I did
Mhm.
to make that moment possible.
Good thing
Instead
The
of
Rock was there for that kid.
yeah.
Yeah,
Instead of Flair coming out and saying, like you said, Sting was the man. We all knew he was the man. We all just wanted to work to make him better, and look at him now. It's all he could keep up with me, so we knew he was going to be okay.
well, that segment in the ratings of Dynamite, because I was also interested to see what that did.
Yeah.
And the Sting, Ric Flair, Christian Cage segment did 756,000 viewers.
Is that high or low? What did that Dynamite?
Well, the segment before it
Yeah.
was 752,
Mm.
but the first 2 segments were like 980 and 936, but that was MJF and Juice.
Uh,
But
that's still pretty high though for Dynamite, right? Nines.
it's very high, especially because everything else after that point was in a nosedive.
Oh shit.
total nosedive. It ended the last segment, which was Orange Cassidy and Okada versus Bryan Danielson and Claudio. That rating was 646.
Oh, wow. Nothing says like Okada's going to wherever they're going to go shopping more than team me up with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah,
I'll be at the building when I'm done getting my new shoes.
you're right. If just let me know. I'll be in like a 3-block radius.
Yeah, yeah.
Text me like 30 seconds before you play my music.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So
But
just have my robe ready when I come in through the door.
I mean, I don't really want to talk too much about what a waste Okada is with Orange Cassidy, but you wanted to talk about Christian Cage.
Yes.
In
See, first off, Christian Cage is the man, period.
Mhm.
That's what I feel MJF should be where he should be at. I feel like what Christian Cage is doing is what made MJF like the most talked about and popular guy in AEW, when he first started, or when he first started kind of catching momentum before uh right before, the Wardlow thing, the whole whatever they had, that issue where he went home. But I don't know, when I see Christian Cage, I think like, okay, so this is the MJF spot, is, as world heavyweight champion. Because I feel like when Christian Cage comes out, he's demanding that type of respect. Like he's the most important thing in that company. And I feel like at some point, MJF in the back needs to say, I'm tired of being, low man on the totem pole here. Even if it is on the upper level, he's still lower than other champions there. It's annoying to me, because that's what got him popular. Like once Austin was like a full on baby face, he didn't change what he was doing. They
He
just
changed who
changed.
he was doing it to.
Yeah, they changed the guys around him to be attacking him from behind and not fighting him face to face, and that's what made him a baby face. But he never changed anything. And I feel like now, I don't know what they're doing, but every time I see a clip of MJF in the trainer's room, getting looked at, and then guys coming up from behind playing their little games with him, and him acting like, hey, stop, that's not the MJF any of us want to see. And like this whole thing, like chasing around Adam Cole and whatever Adam Cole's doing with Roderick and those guys, it just, I don't know, man. Like I just I don't get what MJF is thinking as far as how he looks according to the fans. Like, I'm real curious to know, does he think that this is good? Like, does MJF think, yeah, I got to be a baby face now, so I should be more sympathetic and like more vulnerable, more, just more in that light? Or is it somebody else telling him, as a baby face, you need to be put in these positions? I'm real curious on that, because since Wembley, like if he was on a decline, it's a full on like free fall now.
Yeah.
He has.
Well, he just the other night he accepted for the Full Gear pay-per-view. He accepted a Ring of Honor tag team title challenge from, I believe, the Kingdom.
No, no, no. See, this is what I'm saying. Like when Hogan beat Andre, Hogan didn't fuck with the Islanders after that,
Yeah.
and then he wasn't teaming up with Strike Force. he was treated like he was on a whole nother level, you know. It just, the whole thing with Christian Cage is when he comes out, if I'm a casual, you know, wrestling fan that's just passing through, and I am hearing Christian Cage talk, and then right after that, an MJF segment with what he's been doing lately, I'm looking at MJF like he's just another kid, another flippy kid out there doing spots, compared to Christian Cage coming out and not only being the hottest act they have, but kind of sucking you into every word that he's saying. I'm hanging on the edge, like, you know, not just because it's like quick-witted or he's like, you know, kind of like a smart ass, but how he talks and how he sucks you in and how he hooks you.
He's also the only heel on their TV program besides Samoa Joe that isn't winking at you trying to get you to like them also.
That's exactly it. When MJF was saying shit that was hurting people's feelings, that's what was getting him over. So he should have just kept along those lines. I mean, he even at his, so I'm not a huge MJF fan. I'm arguing for MJF because he's the world heavyweight champion. So I'm arguing for that position is what I'm arguing for. I'm arguing that he had at least that going for him, which was getting him over. It was the promotion's job now to stick bigger guys around him that were going to try to bully that and him come back with that type of heat and smart ass remarks to keep him above them and over, because that's what the fans wanted to see. Now he's playing into, I'm vulnerable, I'm hurt, you know, this, that, and the other. You know, he's falling into this, I can do flippy moves and matches too. Like he's taking away everything that made him a believable heel at the time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's I'm more arguing over the position, meaning that should be his stroke in the back. Like, hey, this is making me look like an idiot, you know, like, again, this goes to my whole, like, taking it too serious type thing, where I think when you get to that level and you get to that point, like, I don't know, I was never world champion on television like that, you know, so I didn't you know, I couldn't understand what it is they expect of you, but from what you hear or what you see when you're back there, you know, I definitely know, like, when I was in WWE and I saw Alberto Del Rio or CM Punk or, you know, when I would see Cena in the back, there was a completely different level of seriousness that they had to them. And it was they were almost untouchable in the back, you know,
the real tippy top guy can't just be one of the boys.
Yeah, it was, and it wasn't in a bad way, you know. You know, not every world champion, you know, is going to be Hogan, where he needs his own locker room, this, that, and the other. But it just, like, if you didn't have something serious, like a serious concern or a serious something to talk to that person about, they probably didn't really want to talk to you, you know, like they didn't care who's banging who and who rode with who and who ribbed who, you know. There was no interest there with that stuff. But going back to it is just like, you know, he should be taking it a little more serious. And I don't know if that's a maturity thing for him. I don't know him, so I can't really say. But is it more just that atmosphere? Because when he gets to WWE, I'm sure they're going to say, hey, that was cool and cute, but that's not how we roll here. Right. You know, I mean, let's be honest. Roman's been on top for, he's on almost a Cena type run, right? Where he's been the main event of how many past WrestleManias in a row now, right?
Like 8, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's on that type of run, and, you know, seeing Roman in the back and then seeing MJF in the back, you know, it's very different, right? So are they just a product of their environment? You know, MJF thinks everything is now, since he's more comfortable and more, involved? Is it more like haha, wink, wink, nod, like let's have fun out there? I get it, guys. And then is it going to be like, you know, uh, a completely different culture shock when he gets to WWE?
No, I think it's totally environmental.
It has
I
to be. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. That's it. Because now I'm watching his matches or I'm seeing more clips of his stuff, and I'm like, this is not the guy that got over
Right.
anymore. Like, you know what I mean? It's like now
Right.
he's just
Did you
doing what
see
everyone else
anything?
does.
Did you see anything from him and Omega?
Yeah, I saw. That's what I mean. He did like the backflip dive over the top,
Yeah.
right? And he's doing like he's almost making fun of the marks where he's like doing that kangaroo kick and it's getting over. But instead of doing it like a heel, he's doing it like he's in on it too. Like this is
Yeah.
funny. Like let's all laugh together. Um, instead of like being a heel about it. Uh, I don't know. It's difficult, I guess, for me to just kind of express, but I don't like it, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
It doesn't feel natural.
That and I just feel like you said it's just with the environment that he's in. I just feel like when he gets to WWE, we're going to see a very different MJF. And
Right.
then here's the joke. Here's the joke on AEW. The the MJF that goes and works in WWE is going to make the company a lot more money
Mhm.
than MJF and AEW did. And
Yeah.
that, I guess that's my biggest pet peeve is I was never a big, the grass is greener on the other side. I just worried about watering my own grass, making this green to where everybody else wants to come to here, you
Right.
know. And I just feel like even though MJF, for the most part, we all kind of believe that he's leaving, it's his job and responsibility to make
To
that the
water that
best place
grass.
possible. Yeah, before he leaves, so it's better. You know, Punk didn't do anything really for AEW in the long run, right? I mean, maybe while he was there, it was better for the moment, or it had moments, I should say, where it was better. But in the long run, he didn't leave a lasting impression where everyone's like, damn, man, I really want to go to AEW because Punk tore it up there and it was awesome. There was
Right.
always, you know, um, Cody as well. I mean, it looked like Cody really wanted to when he was there, but I feel like he was fighting against the environment, which was let's all have fun here and be friends and
Right.
laugh and giggle the whole
And
way.
then
And
tell
Cody was
everybody how much
probably
fun we're having with our fake corny wrestling stories.
Yeah, and Cody was like, "Look at me and Dustin. We're out there bleeding and fighting each other." And they're like, "Yeah, but you should hold his hand while he flips off and back flips off the ropes, and let's have fun. And then we'll do this at the camera, we're all wink and nod, and it's
Mhm.
funny because we're taking jabs at WWE. This is
Right.
fun." And Cody's like, "Just gonna go back to WWE," you know. And I mean, now look at him, right?
Well, I'm
Like
gonna buy a
what
calendar.
yeah, what did Cody change from what he was doing in AEW to what he's doing in WWE? Not much.
Brandy.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, okay. So, but I mean Cody, like in ring wise, how he took
Nothing.
his matches,
Nothing.
his promos, right? They
Fucking
just put
entrance
him
music's the same.
they just put him in the right setting and then said, "Hey, we're paying you this amount, so we need to get double that back. So you're just going to make us a whole bunch of money
Right.
doing everything correctly." And that's how I feel about MJF. Like, and I feel like Jade is the same situation, right? She hasn't taken one bump. She hasn't done anything except kind of pop up in the right spots at the right time. And that's all. It has zero to do with her in any way, shape, or form. She's just told, walk that way and then walk back here, and then we'll
And the
take care
first
of the
time the
rest.
bell rings, she's already gonna be over.
And that's the trick. And especially with WWE style, right? I mean, they're listening to producers and agents and, people that are in the truck and telling them, this looks bad, don't do that again. And they have to listen to that. And AEW, they don't have to. They have these lucha guys pop in from God knows where all over AEW and doing random shit for no reason and they wonder why they can't fill up 4,000 people in Salt Lake City.
Did you see
Because
the kidnap angle they did a few months back?
I heard something about it, but I don't know. No, I did not.
So, I forget his name, but the guy who was the in shape Dark Order guy with the mask.
Okay.
He is no longer Dark Order or masked, and he was teamed up with. He's part of the Los Ingobernables. You
Oh,
know
okay. With
them.
Roosh.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there was a deal where they were like they're in Mexico, and then they get like this van rolls up, and the guys jump out and they put masks over them and they beat them up and they put them in the van. And then the next week's video is like they're handcuffed to chairs with the hoods over their heads, and then they murdered them. Like they escaped and murdered the kidnappers. And I'm
Okay.
like, but what does any of this have to do with wrestling?
Right.
Like, why did they have a cameraman? Why did he
Right.
wait 2 weeks to get help? These guys probably can't go back to Mexico. They're wanted for murder.
Yeah.
It's just,
Sorry, Conan. They can't work AAA next week.
yeah. Fuck, what are they gonna do? Conan.
Conan. That's my favorite one
It's,
now.
it's so good. It's so good, but
Uh,
it's just like they do such weird shit.
it's not, none of it is believable because of the, you go from one extreme to the other, right? And then we're supposed to just take it all as entertainment,
Yeah.
and say, oh, just enjoy it because that's what it is. But it's not. It's the whole show. It's the show from start to finish. You have to understand that there's a flow there. You can't go from comedy to serious to my mom's dropping me off and with a sack lunch with my
Mhm.
friends to the world heavyweight champion has a feud with a guy that put him through a table 2 weeks prior. It doesn't
Right.
work like that. It all has to flow. One thing has to gently get us into the next thing, and they don't. And Tony doesn't know how to write that.
Well, let me tell you what else Tony doesn't know how to write. And it's the card for the Full Gear pay-per-view. Okay?
Okay.
Because there's 4 matches kind of on it. So the first match is a pre-show match, right? Because it's going to be MJF on the pre-show, and I was wrong before. It wasn't the Kingdom. It's going to be MJF by himself versus the Guns on the pre-show. Right? So he's going to beat them,
Yeah.
retain his title.
Tag titles, right?
You're right. And now
Right.
they're useless.
Now, thanks for showing up, gun boys.
Right. You've now got
Okay.
no value. And then we have on the main card Hikaru Shida versus Tony Storm, who I'm loving the current incarnation
Yes,
of the Tony Storm gimmick.
bro. She is
Right?
awesome with
It's
this, and it's in L.A., right? That's the Inglewood.
yeah.
So she's got to win.
Yep. Then we've got Sting and Darby Allin and to be announced. So we don't know who their partner is yet. Versus Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, Nick Wayne. I swear to God, if this third man is Ric Flair,
No, I didn't even think that.
if
No,
this third man is Ric Flair, right?
no,
Somewhere Conrad Thompson is stroking his beard, counting money, right? But if this third man is Ric Flair,
right.
he may never watch AEW again.
Oh my God, I didn't even think that.
All right.
All
Versus Christian Cage, the Dinosaur, and Nick Wayne.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the fourth announced match for this card is MJF versus Jay White.
So they don't have anything for Edge.
Or maybe Edge will be the third man.
I was thinking maybe it's Edge. They don't have anything for Andrade.
Nope.
Joe's not doing anything.
Nothing for the actual World Tag Team Champions.
Oh
Right?
shit, that's right.
Nothing for FTR.
The Bucks,
Omega.
Page.
Page is going to end up doing something with Swerve.
I was gonna say, are they done or are they still going?
No, they just copied the angle that WWE did last year when Seth Rollins broke into Edge's house.
What?
Do you remember?
Yeah, but
they had Prince Nana and Swerve Strickland home invade Adam Page's house
in Virginia.
Pointless, but I guess it'll lead to a match with those two, so that should be on the pay-per-view. But it was bad, man. It was just like carbon copy, except for like he didn't go into his refrigerator and start eating his food like Seth Rollins did.
Yeah. I don't know. And they wonder why they can't fill that building halfway up. So
I haven't gotten an update on the ticket sales since last week. You want to hang for a minute and maybe I'll see if I can get it?
Yeah, I thought I saw around 7 or 6 or 7, or was that the limit?
That was the limit.
Oh, geez, that's right. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It may have been 4 then. I can't remember. Last time I saw was a couple of days ago, but
right.
This whole MJF working twice, once on a pre-show is, I mean, I don't know how he's not,
it's silly.
Putting his foot down. From a character's perspective, it just doesn't. It does nothing for him, and Jay White still has his belt, right? Like, isn't that the whole?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they didn't just do that in New Japan with Sonata as well, but whatever.
Okay. Current setup 9,946. Tickets distributed 8,588.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they might have opened up a little more seating.
I was gonna say that's definitely more, right? All the way around.
Yeah.
So that's half. What did it come out to? 18,000 in there?
It was I believe it was like 17,505.
Okay. Yeah.
Something like that. That was a really specific number for me to remember, so I want to say that was it.
Yeah. So that's about halfway-ish.
Yeah. Just about there. And there's still time. There's only 4 matches announced.
Yeah,
if they did some good TV, they would probably sell those other 8,000 tickets.
Well, yeah, if they knew how to build up characters the right way. Like, my whole thing is they've got to have Edge on this, right? Because this would be his first pay-per-view with them.
Right.
So you got to put him in something meaningful I mean, but what would that be if Christian's already involved with something?
Yeah, it's not a 6-man.
And well, you would think you wouldn't. You would think, but I mean, I don't know. Are they thinking Edge teaming up with Sting is supposed to be the big selling point there?
Well, listen, you got monster heels on the other side, like Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus.
Right.
So, I mean, the star caliber as far as the opponents are there.
Yeah, nothing with I saw a clip of Joe on Collision. What is he doing?
I saw
now?
So I was watching Dynamite, and basically he came up to MJF in the back of Dynamite, and he was like, "Hey man, looks like you could use some backup." And MJF was like, "Totally, I could." And Joe was like, "All right, well, I got your back." And MJF was like, "Oh, cool, super cool, thanks." And Joe was like, "For another world title match," So it's, I don't know if they're doing something with that, or if that's just going to be something that fizzles out. I don't. It's hard to like watch something and then know if it's something that they're going to continue with, or if it's just something that they're putting on the TV because something needs to be on the TV
Yeah.
at that moment. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's a lot of watching AEW is like watching that TV show Lost.
Mm.
Like there's a lot of things that start and then nothing finishes. So it's like it's hard to tell if you're watching something that's of any importance or if it's just cannon fodder for something Orange Cassidy's going to do later. You know,
Yeah,
so
he's not even on a match yet, right? For the
no, God, I hope not.
well,
I,
you know
I
he's going to
read
be.
something that he got booed out of the building the other night.
Really?
That he started doing the phony kicks to whoever he was wrestling, and the people shit on it.
We'll
So
see.
yeah,
We'll see.
and I'm sure there's going to be something for the uh that hot young upstart tag team of Hook and Rob Van Dam. Um, so we'll
They're a
see.
tag team now?
Oh yeah, they're a tag team now.
Rob Van Dam and
And
Hook?
Hook, yeah. I can't wait for the stupid name. You know, it's gonna be like Hook Van Dam or something. You know, like how him and Jack Perry were Jungle Hook. Like I
Yeah,
can't wait to yeah.
that got over.
Oh God. But
And what's is there do you know any information on that idiot?
oh, Jack Perry, no.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I believe the internet rumor that he's under the devil mask is starting to pick up some steam.
Shut up. Really?
Yeah, which is a
No
bad thing
way.
because if it does pick up steam, then Tony Khan will just do it, even if that wasn't his original intention.
Oh my God. What? That would be hilarious.
I don't know. If I never see Jack Perry on my television again, I'll be okay.
Can we just have Roosh come out and beat him up every week? That would be
That'd be great.
okay. That
That'd be great because he's clearly not afraid of CM Punk, but terrified of Roosh. Right?
maybe rightfully so.
Yeah. CM Punk was like trying to look after his safety. Roosh would just beat the shit out of him.
Beat the shit out of him, right? And then lost, right? I think he even lost that match.
He got up and lost, and then like the next week he came out on TV and was like, "That was my fault." Like a woman who gets beat by her husband.
Yeah. No.
I deserved this black eye.
Yeah. He clearly told me twice.
Yeah.
I should have listened.
I should have listened.
I don't know what I was thinking. Dinner should have been done.
Yeah. I forgot to put his beer next to his steak. Oh God, you got anything else here tonight?
No, that was the Christian thing again. I'll retouch on it. Is he's in what I think should be MJF's position and role and everything else, but he's occupying it and doing it well.
He's doing his best work in years.
I was just gonna say, like, as long as he keeps popping up on each TV show, I'm searching for his stuff every time there's a AEW show. I swear to God, I'm just like looking for Christian's name,
right?
And it's just money all the way around. Like, and I like after they do their pay-per-views, I'm just waiting for his scrum part because he just lays it down like no other, and I'm just loving every second of it.
I still get a kick out of them showing Antonio Inoki's grandsons.
Yes.
And then cutting backstage to Christian, like
just nodding slowly.
Yeah.
And then they asked him about it at the scrum. I think maybe didn't Tony Khan ask him about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yeah, they lost their grandfather." Like there was that awkward silence. I just love it. I love every second of him. Like, oh man, heel Christian is.
Did you ever
stay out of his.
Did you ever hear the stories that Vince McMahon really, really liked Christian's work, but he
But
hated his face?
hated his face. Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
was trying to look into like technology to just always have the blue dot over
Oh, to
Christian's
follow
face
him around. Yeah.
while he was on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a rumor for a long time, to the point where there's got to be some truth to it. But like right now, that his facials is what helps this a lot, like how he just gives that stare,
Yeah.
like as Tony Khan was asking him, yeah, well, about Mr. Inoki's grandkids or whatever, he said, yeah, they lost their grandfather. And he's just like looking, and I'm like rolling laughing because he's so dead ass serious about it. I love it so much.
50-year-old creepy Elroy Jetson. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Oh, I love it. No,
Oh,
but I mean, again, like honestly, that's where MJF should have morphed into by now, since from the time he started. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm disappointed in I'm disappointed that WWE's world heavyweight, like Roman, his position, and then there's number two, and it might as well be like 202. It's
mhm.
such a far drop that the AEW champion is not even in the talks when it comes to
The
anything
top
that a world
five.
champ that yeah, anything that a world champion should be. The attraction, the draw, the best wrestler, the anything. It's just it's sad that it's fallen so far, because I was expecting when MJF got the belt, like this could be, Sting beating Flair, at the Bash, hopefully Warrior, beating Hogan. Like this could be a moment where, hey, maybe these guys uh, do make a real run at it, but it's fallen so far now. It's completely his title reign is completely irrelevant at this point.
Well, don't lose hope yet. They ran a Wardlow vignette the other day, and he talked a little bit about MJF on it. So hopefully, if they can get this kind of turned around into something serious, those two can run it back and we can get something good out of that. But otherwise, you're
I
probably just
mean,
right.
I just feel like he tried to do that thing with Omega where he was like going to be the longest reigning champion and try to make that mean something.
Mm-hmm.
And for no reason, 3 days before the show, before the world championship match, Omega pops up as like, "Hey, I'm Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
I want to wrestle you." And
Oh, wait, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Did you actually get to hear or see that promo?
I did not. I saw the clip where they like whispered "I love you" in each other's ears and then walked away, but that
Okay.
was all that I had seen.
So Kenny Omega walks out onto the stage
Yeah,
after MJF's match, right?
in his jeans. Right.
Right. And no shirt on.
Right.
And then he starts to speak and he immediately gives off gay exotic dancer vibes,
Oh yeah, I could see that. Okay.
right?
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
like badly.
Mm.
And then the way I don't want to just say like the way he speaks, but like the way he enunciates or
Yeah.
articulates
Yeah.
is so like flimsy, like whimsical. Like, dude,
Yeah. It's
there's
bad.
just nothing intimidating about him at all.
No.
He's a
No.
big dude.
Yep.
He's like he's like that big dude that you just know is a pussy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can be as big as you want, but you're
Hmm.
definitely just a pussy.
Right.
Like I don't I don't understand what
like his outside shell is built up so big because he deep down inside he's scared of everything and everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like a gym tough guy, slam the weights, walk around, one of those types. Like that's how I feel. Like when he speaks, it's nothing.
Right.
At least in like even when he would do the promos when I first started kind of paying attention to him in New Japan, the only thing that was impressive was that he speaks fluent
Japanese.
Japanese.
Right.
Obviously I would catch some subtitle stuff when they would break it down, but it's funny how they would he'd do a whole promo in the ring, but they would pick certain parts to just play on the New Japan sites. But then I would go back and like try to listen to it, and the fans are kind of like giggling and laughing, like, and I'm thinking, is he just making like jokes and saying
Right.
funny shit like that? And then he goes, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to challenge for the, and then I'm like, this dude's like, feels like it's just a big, like he's clowning around in there. And that's kind of what it was, but it's just annoying. Like,
It's
but
just
what I was
I
getting,
don't understand like what attracts people to like cheer for him.
yeah, I don't know.
Because the minute he opens his mouth,
Yeah,
it's
it's
over.
done. It's over. Yeah. I mean, he's an exceptional athlete, but I mean, that doesn't mean I don't know, just the whole thing with MJF bothered me because it was so quick. And then he, okay, gave him a title shot. And then MJF doesn't even have the belt anyways. Like, so what was the title shot for?
Right.
And then they wonder why they can't draw a crowd to come back because they get in the ring after they wrestle each other, and then they put each other over. They put the promotion over, and then they expect everyone to say, "Oh yeah, well they were just acting like they were wrestling each other tonight." So why am I going to come back and see this act again? It's
Right.
just they're shitting where they eat every week, and then they can't figure out why they can't come back to the same big buildings again. It has nothing to do with the wrestling business as a whole, because the awareness of wrestling, pro wrestling, is more than it's ever been because of social media and everything. And they can't draw in a 4,000 seat building and fill it up more than once a year.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense
None whatsoever.
because they're just doing it wrong. That's why.
Well, we're doing it right.
Yeah.
And what we're doing right is we're going to end this episode. Like right now. How do you feel about that?
No, I'm good.
There anything else you want to get into before we go?
No, that was all I had.
All right, motherfluxers, we will catch you guys next week. This has been Podfluxxx.